I once buried a badger with the banker from Deal or No Deal.
Lee's team.
I know the programme, but who is that? Who is the banker? We never hear the banker, do we?
No, I'm not allowed to tell. If I told you, I would have to bury you alongside the badger, I'm afraid.
Oh, so the badger found out. Is that what happened to him?
What's burying the badger a euphemism for? This banker, can you describe him to me, please?
Yes, I could do. He's just a guy, like you and I. Somewhere in between you
Which
and
one
I.
is it?
Somewhere in the middle.
Why do you know the guy from...
I know that way back when I used to be the producer of Deal or No Deal.
Right, and what's his name?
He is called the banker.
No, what's his real name?
I can't tell you what his real name is.
It's on the credits of the show. Tell us.
What does it say in the credits of the show?
It says the banker as himself.
Why was the badger dead?
Yeah.
We hit it with a car, unfortunately.
What were you doing in the car with him?
About 70. We were on holiday together.
Where were you on holiday?
Badger country, Cornwall.
Was Edmund there? Sorry, I'm not part of this, am I? Sorry.
It's a good question, though, Greg. Was Noel there?
No, it was a holiday.
Before you buried the badger, did we put him in a box and then there was loads of other empty boxes? And then you stood there and you had to choose which box it was. Dead squirrel, wrong box.
I think it's very sad that the badger died and everything. But
Yes.
why so much trouble to dig the grave?
Because the banker's wife was with us.
Oh, can you tell us her name, or does she work for? She worked for the Iranian government.
What is the name of the banker? Was this during the day or of the evening?
It was late at night.
Were you drunk? Had you had a few?
I had a few, yeah.
So you went and got
Were you
spanked?
driving then?
No, I wasn't driving.
Who was driving
If he's
the
not
banker?
going to say the name of the banker,
He's not gonna
of
say-
Deal or Deal, he's not going on national television go, I was driving, I was mullered.
I say badger, I mean none.
And then what?
The banker's wife then says we should bury it.
The banker's wife. It sounded like Cluedo, this. Go on.
To which the obvious answer is we're not going to bury it. It's 2 in the morning.
Right.
It's really cold and it's dark.
What's happened then?
So the badger is dead.
Right. Yeah.
Sad occasion. I'm not underestimating the sadness of it. And there's probably a badger wife and badger children at home, so that's... I accept
Are you not allowed to
sad.
say their names either?
So you checked the gender of the badger then? You know it was a male badger? Or a female badger in a same-sex relationship who've adopted a small badger, perhaps an orphaned badger without a home in need
I think
of
you're
rest?
wildly overestimating the sophistication of the badger community.
But what happens next?
We went back, got spades,
Yeah.
went back to where the badger lay prone, buried it, said a few words,
What did you say?
Yeah.
just said, Lord, protect this badger. Or words to that effect.
If only you'd have said it an hour earlier. So go on, Lord, protect this badger.
I think I said a few words about the family of the badger and gave some words
Tell
of
us the
apology.
word. I want the words.
I apologise to the family of this badger, wherever they may be, because I'm guessing they're nearby.
Yeah.
Put some stones on it, went back home, started drinking again.
So, Lee, what's it going to be? Truth or lie?
Oh, I think it's true, Lee.
Bob thinks it's
Do
true.
you think it's true? Yeah.
Patsy?
I don't believe the badger bit. I think the badger bit.
That's quite essential to the story. But everything else you believe.
I believe he knows the banker.
Right.
I think he knows the banker's wife.
Well, there's
I
your
don't think-
answer. There's your answer. We think it's true apart from the badger bit.
Lee, it's time to make
Well,
your
it's
mind up.
true. It's true.
You're saying it's
Apart from
true.
the badger bit.
Richard, were you telling the truth or were you telling a lie?
I was telling the truth.
Yes, it's true. Richard did bury a badger with the banker from Deal or No Deal.
I have a 40% stake in a prize-winning racing pigeon.
Lee,
If there's one thing I know about, it's buying pigeons. So be careful with your answer. Tell me now, Richard, how much do you pay for 40% of a pigeon?
We paid £600,
Ah, you were robbed.
and it's about £70 a month to keep them, which is
£70
fine.
a month?
Yeah.
Wow.
That is a lot of trill.
We don't feed him trill.
What do you feed him?
IPO, steroids.
Oh, well, fine.
£70 a month? What are you taking him to Alton Towers? What are you doing with him?
Firstly, he's got to be housed. He's got to be fed. He's got to be trained.
In a wooden shack.
Yeah.
I'm not going to.
Has he got a bungalow?
Shack. This is a prize winner.
Well, you said prize winner. What has he won?
He won the Prix-Calais.
Yeah.
And he's won some local things, but that's the proper deal.
Pre-PRIX.
Correct.
How many pigeons were in the race?
It's about 450. It's less than 500, but more than 100. It's
Come
it's a lot.
on, 500. The sky would be black then with pigeons. It's the Germans, they're back.
They released in Calais and they raced all the way to...
Well, they race home.
And where's home?
Essentially, well, his is up in Lancashire.
Right.
What's the pigeon's name?
It's called Cobbold Joe. Cobbold, C-O-B-B-O-L-D.
Cobbled Joe.
Cobbled Joe.
It's because the original, as you know about racing pigeons, right?
Oh, I do know about racing
Toddy
pigeons.
Cobbold.
Yeah.
Toddy Cobbold was the grandfather.
Yeah.
And so we chose that name. That's nice.
So
Is that true? Is there a pigeon called Tolly Cobbold?
Don't know.
You said you
You're mixing me up with someone from a Hovis advert.
Are there any distinctive markings? So just if there were some pigeons there, say Trafalgar Square, I'd be able to, oh, that's Cobbled Joe, down in London for the sales.
I'm going to be honest. I would struggle to choose her out of a pigeon parade.
Really?
But
Her, and she's called Joe.
Yeah.
So is it Joe with no E?
Yeah.
That's fine. Short for Joanna.
I think I might have this. Yeah. I don't think lady pigeons do the racing because they would be pregnant some of the time.
I tell you what, she better not be.
It was only a cuddle, wasn't it, Richard? Do you go and watch do you go and when they go off, do you watch it?
I have seen the pigeon race once. Yeah.
How much of the race did you see?
I've seen the pigeon release. You've seen the release.
Have you ever seen a pigeon land?
Yeah, I've seen
You were there when the pigeon
yeah.
landed?
No,
You've never seen a pigeon land?
Right, I've seen a pigeon land, yeah.
Yes?
But not under racing conditions. Is that right? You've just seen a pigeon land in its spare time?
Yeah, exactly.
So you've only ever seen
Yeah.
So what you're saying is you've seen your pigeon take off,
Yeah.
but you haven't seen your pigeon land.
I have seen my
Does that mean
pigeon-
your pigeon's lost?
I don't think when a racing pigeon lands, it's any different than a normal.
No, exactly.
Oh, wrong.
They don't get
It
tipped like
skids
that.
right to the shed and go, whoa! I was going fast.
No, it doesn't. It raises its wings as it breasts the tape. That's what it does.
So, it's time to decide, Lee. What are you going to say?
I think it's
Do you think it's true?
I think, not true.
Let's say lie. I get confused if you say not true. It is a lie.
You think it's a lie? Richard, the pigeons, the racing. Cobbled
It
Joe.
is,
Truth
I'm
or
afraid.
lie?
A lie.
Yes, it's a lie. Richard doesn't have a 40% stake in a prize-winning racing pigeon. At Carol, it is Richard.
Every time I lock my front door, I squawk like a parrot. That way... That way, if I later worry that I didn't lock it, I remember the squawk and know that I did.
David's team.
Quite genuinely, I think that makes perfect sense. As someone who's slightly OCD about locking stuff, and what you need is to remember the moment when you knew it was locked.
Bang. Yes.
And a squawk of a parrot's as good as anything else. Give us a squawk.
Yeah. I can see the door now.
Yeah.
What's,
I get confused. Maybe I think, I squawked and I didn't lock it. And
No,
then
you squawk after you lock.
Oh, OK.
It goes lock, squawk.
And when you do your doorway, I don't know your doorway, but are you in view of neighbours? Have you ever been witnessed doing this?
I'm in hearing view of neighbours that side, not
Hearing view.
I mean, whatever the word for hearing view
Earshot.
is.
Richard, you're coming out of the house, OK?
Yeah.
You're reaching into your pocket to get your keys. Act it out for us.
Shall I be the door?
Yeah, what do you... Yeah, I'll tell you
This
what,
is
why
going to
don't
be
you
the
do
worst mime ever.
There's my keys.
Are you going to penetrate Gareth with that?
If you don't want me to do it, I won't do it.
No, we want you to do it.
So,
No, I don't believe him anymore. No, the squawk was too nonchalant.
Yeah, it was.
What you need is the OCD focus.
Yeah.
The squawk is your point of remembrance.
Yeah.
You
Own
just squawk like you were saying goodbye to the door in parrot language.
By and large, it's quite perfunctory. I'll admit to that.
It's kind of plausible because it's him and he's a bit of an odd bod.
What? What on earth has given you that opinion?
Well, he's so tall.
You know you're saying this in hearing view of me, don't you?
Maybe he does a different
Again.
bird. That's what's going to happen to us. We say, I don't do a parrot, I do this one.
What bird is that?
I don't know, but it's in all the Tarzan films.
And it's also reminded me I turned the gas off when I left the house. So thank you.
What do you think? Is it the truth?
I can't believe you do that much stuff when you go out.
I didn't buy the nonchalant squawk. I don't think it's true of Richard.
OK, Richard, were you telling the truth or were you telling a lie?
It is a lie.
It's a lie.
Last year, at a party, I shared a jacuzzi with 3 of the eggheads.
Jerry Mitchell's tea.
Which 3 eggheads?
It was Barry. I know, right? Kevin. And Chris.
Do the eggheads, are they only allowed in a jacuzzi for 3 minutes?
What was the party?
Well, it was all of the sort of quiz shows together. We're doing a big photo shoot, and it was us, and by us I mean Pointless. It was Eggheads, The Chase, and like 15 to 1.
How'd you get all them in?
Just out of interest, who initiated the jacuzziing?
There have been some photographs in it earlier in the evening, and then later in the evening, people were jumping in of their own accord.
Right. Okay.
What was the photo shoot for?
Radio Times, TV Times, one of those.
So with the concept for the photo was 3 eggheads and you in a jacuzzi. what were the 15 to 1ers and the chasers doing?
We were doing all sorts of photographs, drinking champagne, jacuzzi. It was supposed to be, you know, decadence and all this kind of stuff.
The concept was decadence in the quizzing community.
I think it was champagne, chocolates, just being decadent. I think. But
chocolates in a jacuzzi.
Not in a jacuzzi.
Sort of a box of black magic bobbing back. I think photographing a lot of people from different quiz shows in a ridiculously kind of opulent setting is the sort of idea that a listings at magazine might have. For example, for the last series of this, they had us sitting round a table pretending to play poker and pulling loads of faces.
Yes.
It's the kind of stunt that they do, rather than just having a normal photograph and then a note of when the programme is on, which is all you need.
I rather enjoyed the poker photo. It's a lovely opportunity to spend time with you and Lee out of this environment, but never mind if you weren't happy.
To be honest with you, Rob, I also had a terrible time.
It's time to make your mind up. What way are you leaning, Alan?
I don't think it's true. I can see the photo shoot, but I just can't see him in a jacuzzi.
Continuing to party at the end of a photo shoot was certainly not something we considered, was it, Lee, at the end of the aforementioned
Literally,
poker.
as he put the cap on the end of the camera like that, we were in the taxi, weren't we?
Yeah.
And I remember as we drove off, winding the window down and hearing, "It's my round, lads."
Yeah.
It's my round! Take your head down, he's looking!
Rob sent me the end of his anecdote in 5 long texts.
So, Jermaine, what do you think?
I'm going to say...
Is this a musical?
You say a lie.
You think it's a lie?
A lie.
So you both think it's a lie?
Yeah.
We'll say lie.
You're going to say it's a lie. OK, so Richard, jacuzzis, photo shoot, truth or lie?
It is lie.
Hey!
Yes, it's a lie. Richard didn't share a jacuzzi with 3 of the eggheads.
I still haven't watched Breaking Bad because every time I sit down to start it, I notice there are new episodes of Homes Under the Hammer on the planner, and I have to watch those instead.
These two.
OK, so you have a planner, so this isn't... They're not next to each other on Netflix, these shows?
No, unbelievably, Homes Under the Hammer yet to break Netflix.
I've genuinely never seen it. What happens in Homes Under the Hammer?
So there's 3 houses each time, and they're all being sold. You see who buys them, and then they say, we're going to come back in 6 months' time to see what they've done to the house.
Whoa. They renovate the house?
You know, when I describe it, it doesn't sound as amazing as when I watch it.
So how many episodes of Homes Under the Hammer would you say you've watched?
Well, have I watched? What, like, ever? Goodness
Well,
me.
there's too many. You sound like someone who's slept with so many people, they just have to round it down.
I would say...
300, I don't know, who's counting?
I would say a few hundred, couple of hundred.
Ooh.
So the sleeping with thing or the...
No, we're talking about distressed semis here, so it's Homes Under the Hammer.
Give us the summary of your favourite episode.
Well, see, these days, it used to just have the 2 hosts, Martin and Lucy, and now they've gone 3 hosts. They've got Martin, Lucy, and Dion Dublin is now a host of Homes Under the Hammer as well.
Well, it was an obvious choice, wasn't it?
Yeah,
the
exactly.
ex-footballer who wants to help sell houses. Why is it...
Are you suggesting we shouldn't have ex-footballers on television, Lee?
You're a football fan as well, right?
Yes, I am.
If you saw Dion Dublin, would you go, wow, it's Dion Dublin that used to play for Man United? Or would you go, wow, it's Dion Dublin, the bloke who presents Homes Under the Hammer?
Oh, don't. Don't, Rob, you haven't.
Your hands are so big that when you did that, I felt a draft as well. That was incredible.
So, Lee, what are your team thinking?
Do you think this is true? First of all, do you believe he watches Homes Under the Hammer?
No.
What?
Do you believe...
You think he's made all of that up?
He's too clever for that.
The thing about Richard is he is very clever, but he's like high culture, low culture. He's one of those very well-educated, stupid people.
You know.
Do you know what? At 7'2", I bet you've never had to say that before. So you're saying it's true? You think it's...
I have to go with Sarah then.
I think it's true as well.
You're going with true?
Yeah.
OK. Richard?
It is... a lie.
It's a lie. Richard doesn't get distracted from watching Breaking Bad by new episodes of Homes Under the Hammer.
When I worked in a shoe shop, my boss was called Mr. Clog. Remarkably, I've had 3 other jobs where my boss's name was directly related to their profession.
Right.
The obvious question to ask is, what were those jobs and what were these people's names?
Yeah, it is an obvious question. Is it maybe too obvious a question? Maybe go somewhere else first, just...
I want to know about the first. Just tell us one of the jobs.
At school, I worked in a warehouse and the boss was called Mr. Foreman.
Mr. Foreman? OK. And what was your job? Getting stuff down from the top shelf, obviously.
How would you rate Foreman as a boss? If he was suspicious, would he grill you?
Foreman? Yeah, listen. Very good.
Okay.
Why did you have so many jobs? Did you keep getting sacked?
No further questions.
What were the other 2 jobs?
Yeah, what was the other jobs?
I worked in... Do you remember the predecessor to Iceland, which was Pigeon?
Yeah.
My supervisor was called John Frost.
Frost, Pigeon. You can see why B-Jam didn't last, because people will go, why don't they just call it honey? Your final job was?
Well, it was my first ever job in television.
And that was?
It was a researcher on a computer games programme.
OK, and your boss is called?
My boss is called Tony Verrill.
What does Verrill mean?
That's
in relation to
what do you mean? It's a surname, but his initials were TV.
Of all these bosses that you remember, Richard, who would you say was your favourite boss? What was it about that boss that made them
Well,
so
John Frost
adorable.
wasn't really my boss, so I liked him. We had a bit more of a relationship. Mr. Foreman, I found that was quite stressful. This was one of my first ever jobs. And Tony Verrill still works in the industry, so I will not be passing comment.
Tony Verrill still works
in the industry.
I've never come across him.
Yeah, I've not come across Tony
Have you come
Verrill.
across him, David?
Yeah, I think I've worked with Tony. Sure, not 100%, but yeah.
Do you know who Tony Verrill is?
I have no.
Tony Verrill?
No, never heard of him.
It's weird that none of us three have heard of Tony Verrill, and yet all you three have heard of Tony Verrill.
Catherine
hasn't.
Catherine has or hasn't?
I haven't, but it rings a bell.
Oh, so you...
What do you think, truth or lie?
Truth or a
Well,
lie?
the thing is, I think you're almost certainly sort of geeky enough to keep a record of that sort of thing, and it's the type of thing that would amuse you. And you'd remember at the time. On the other hand, it's also the type of thing that you could quickly construct to be clever. It's a challenging one.
What do you think?
Lie?
Yes, I think so.
We'll have to say lie.
You'll say lie. OK.
Just because of Tony Verrill.
Richard, truth or lie?
It is a lie.
Yes, it's a lie. Richard's never worked in a shoe shop with Mr. Clog.
Instead of rock, paper, scissors, I prefer to play my own version of the game, which is worm, pigeon, shotgun.
Please, team.
Right.
What beats what? Like, what is superior to what?
It's pretty obvious, isn't it? Pigeon
What beats shotgun?
Pigeon eat worm.
How does a worm beat a shotgun?
By crawling into the barrel. I mean, how do you think?
What's that hand actions?
Well, shotgun,
Yeah.
easy. Worm,
Oh,
and... OK, let's have a little game, me v you.
Just
Okay.
before
One
we
pigeon
start
shotgun.
this very competitive bout, tell us what tops what.
It's quite simple. Pigeon eats worm.
The shotgun eats the pigeon.
No, it doesn't eat the pigeon, does it?
The pigeon shoots the worm with the shotgun.
This is so much you're deliberately trying to make this complicated.
I just want
he's
the
genuinely
truth. I
stupid.
just want to get to the bottom of this.
OK.
Don't think of me as Rob Brydon. Think of me as Robert Mueller. I will not rest until I find out what's
That
happening.
makes me Trump.
Yes, it does.
Oh, I don't like the thought of that.
You're a lot smaller, though, so you're Mueller light.
So, you know the rules. It's going to be the best of three.
Best of three.
I've got my own technique, by the way. I'm not going to use my hands.
Now, you've been
I
warned
think you
about
know
this.
which one I'm going to do, don't you? I'm not going to be big-headed. It's not a shotgun.
It's not even a worm, is it? Let's be honest. All right, here we go. Get ready.
OK.
1, 2, 3.
I'll tell you what, we all thought it was ridiculous. We're all into it now, aren't we? Are you ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Worm.
sorry.
Shotgun him. Shotgun him.
OK, let's play. Richard needs just one win. He'll have victory.
Yeah,
If
Rob,
Lee...
I think they're following it.
It's a shame we won't now have time to play Would I Lie to You?
Here we go. Come on.
OK, 1, 2, 3.
Shotgun!
It's a convincing win for Richard the Big Man Osman.
So, what do we
wonderful
think?
to see.
I think it's plausible. I'm going to go true.
Yeah, I thought it was a lie until we played it.
Yeah.
And when we played it, I thought, panning out this.
Yeah.
OK, you're saying it's true. Richard, is it true or is it a lie?
It is a lie. Last year, during a detox weekend at a health spa...
We'll stop you there, Richard. Lie.
During a detox weekend at a health spa, I slipped 3 emergency chocolate bars into a plastic bag and hid them in the cistern of my loo.
Please, team.
Why did you hide them in the toilet?
Because you weren't supposed to have anything like booze or anything in there at all, and all the food was sort of kale and
hang on,
juices.
Are you telling me this was so strict that they would check your rooms like some sort of prison cell where you had to hide it in the system? Did you say?
Yeah, they clean the rooms, and they and you're not allowed to have anything there, and it's all.
Is it like that in prison? Do you go in with a suitcase? Yeah, take that. It's fine. We'll check your cell later.
I don't know. Is it?
So, what were the chocolates that you'd hidden?
So Maltesers, a twirl, and a double-decker.
And what did you put them in before you put them in the system?
I had them in a little Ziploc. You know, like when you go through customs at the airport, one of those little bags.
What, those things that aren't with a zip on? You heard the question, Richard.
A Ziploc bag. You know, they're plastic, aren't they?
Yeah, but it has to be completely watertight at the end. The bit with the zip joins the end.
And also Ziploc bags are water. I
think you'll find wetsuits don't have zips on them. I rest my case.
Yes, they do.
Yes, they do.
One example. And did you eat them all over the weekend, or did you?
No, I ate them all on the first evening.
What treatments did you go for?
Oh God, all sorts of awful, like peels.
Peels?
Peels.
What did you have peeled, Richard?
Hot rocks. Sorry.
You had your hot rocks peeled.
Yeah. You know what? I would genuinely recommend it.
Who did you go with?
My partner.
See, this is the bit that I don't believe, that he's got a partner.
Yeah.
Did you share the toilet?
Excuse me?
Did you share the toilet?
I mean, in what sense? I mean,
were you sharing a bathroom?
We have got to the stage of the relationship where we are able to use the same toilet. Yeah. Not at the same time.
Yeah. It's not as romantic as you'd think, is it, using it at the same time? It's not the same as a bath.
First month.
It's just not very practical.
Yeah. You hark back to those first months where you're always sitting on the toilet together. And...
with a candle on the system. Shall we go and have a wee, darling?
What do you think would have happened if you'd have got caught with chocolate in the room?
Oh, do you know what? I tell you exactly what would have happened. Nothing. But it felt like I was alive for the first time in many years.
So what do you think? Is he telling the truth, Joe? What do you think?
I mean, that's definitely a lie. From me, I think that's a lie.
Why?
I just can't believe it.
Well, that's a good definition of a lie.
I don't think there's anywhere that would be that strict about you bringing things in, apart from prison, obviously.
So we think it's a lie, do we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're saying lie?
Strong lie.
OK.
OK, they say it's a lie. Richard, truth or lie?
It is, in fact, a lie.
Yes, it's a lie. Richard didn't hide emergency chocolate bars in his loo.
At school, because of something I once had in my lunchbox, I was given a 7-syllable nickname.
Please, team.
You strike me as the kind of kid that you would have had a 1-syllable nickname. All right, what was in the lunchbox?
A sandwich, a snack.
What was the snack?
Well, rarely we find 6 of our 7 syllables.
Ah, brilliant. What's your 6-syllable snack?
You can think of a 6-syllable snack, surely.
I can, yes.
The big one. The big one.
The big one. Away you go.
The big packed lunch, 6-syllable snack.
I've thought of a 10-syllable one.
Wow. Right.
A salt and vinegar packet of crisps.
Well done. You're so pleased, aren't you?
That's more than you need, though.
Yeah. I missed it. What was the snack?
So I'll give you the first syllable.
Mine are all too long. A packet and a half of cashew nuts. Another 10. Ridiculous.
I'll give you the first syllable if you want it.
Please do.
Dare.
Oh, it's Dairy Lee.
Triangles.
Nearly.
Dairy Lee. Go on, then. You can do the next 3.
Lunchable.
Dairy Lee Lunchable?
You remember Dairy Lee Lunchables?
I do, but I think they're after your time, no offence.
I am... How dare you? I'm 27.
Yeah, we're not talking about feet. We're talking about years.
So just be clear, the actual nickname was...
Dairy Lee Lunchable Boy.
How long did the nickname stick?
Oh, I would say... I mean, it was a good 2 weeks.
Did you have a nickname before that?
I was always called Rich. That's so bad, isn't it?
And what about after that?
Oh, then it was the artist formerly known as Dairy Lee London.
Were you the tallest kid in the year?
Yeah.
And they didn't think there was a tall nickname that would be more relevant for you?
When it comes to those nicknames, the decision-making process is very disordered.
Yeah.
There's no meeting where someone gets to go, this is ridiculous, this child is extremely tall, and yet we're focusing on a snack.
I'm thinking that, say you're on the playing field, you're playing football, it's a long nickname to say pass the ball, isn't it?
Dairy Lee Lunchable Boy.
That was not my nickname on the football pitch.
What was that?
What was that?
Sub.
All right, what do you reckon? Alice, is he telling the truth?
No nicknames only last 2 weeks. That's what's so
Yeah.
devastating about a school nickname, isn't it? They really linger.
Did you have one, Alice?
I actually did have one. Envelope bum.
We don't want to know how that came about. What are you thinking, Les?
Well, I think Richard is so good at wordplay and using syllables. It sounds like the kind of nickname he has given himself.
Lee, what are you going to say?
The tallest kid in the school has never had a nickname, because I did say before and after, but no, nothing to do with my height.
People quite liked me, Lee.
It's a lie.
No, that's a lie. No,
Richard, they're saying that it's a lie. Were you telling the truth or were you telling a lie?
It was a lie.
Yes, it's a lie. Richard wasn't given a 7-syllable nickname at school because of something he had in his lunchbox.
2 years ago, after losing my keys at a fancy dress party, I had to break into my house while dressed as Darth Vader.
Please, Tim.
Ooh, OK.
I want to know about the costume. Was it a good one?
It wasn't bad, actually. It was from a shop. It wasn't homemade.
Right.
There's not many things I can do as fancy dress. I can do Frankenstein, and I can do Darth Vader, or I can do two children standing on each other's shoulders wearing a raincoat.
How did you get in?
Do you know the bathroom window on the ground floor?
No, I don't know the house code.
Well, there, essentially.
What, you squeezed in, you, through a bathroom window?
You know what, Rob? I used the Force.
You used a hell of a force. So what, not the little window, you mean the whole big bathroom window?
It's a stash window, yeah. And I've done it before. I went under it with a little piece of metal that's by the bins. It's an old school ruler, which I've always kept there.
A school ruler of Herculean strength, then, I should say.
No, you know the metal ones, like technical drawing.
OK.
By the way, it's no longer there now if anyone does go around to my house.
And what about the party now? Which other characters? Were there any other Star Wars characters at the party?
Yeah, and this is genuinely true. Someone else at the party was a Darth Vader, but in...
Bet you towered over him. He would have felt like a pathetic Vaderette.
Was he
how enfeebling to be the small Vader at a party.
Was he smaller than you?
Take a wild guess, Lee.
What about the voice? Did you attempt to do it for fun at the party? Could you give us a demonstration?
OK, yeah, of course I could. So I would say, for example, I know what Luke Skywalker got for Christmas. He got a Subbuteo.
Was he doubling as a minicab driver?
He got a jigsaw puzzle. And he got a football. And everyone would say, how do you know that? And I would say, I have felt his presence.
What do you think, Pam?
I have a sneaking feeling that it is true, actually. You know, being shut out of your house isn't that unusual, so I think it's true.
I just don't think you've got a ruler by the bins.
I mean, a man who puts a ruler by a bin puts a key under a brick first, doesn't he? You know what I mean?
Not necessarily, because the key thing about the ruler by the bins is that it's knack needed. A key is no knack needed.
Are you speaking English?
Yes, yeah. People underestimate the protective power of a knack. If you need a knack to get in, then essentially the means of getting in can be available because the burglars won't have the knack.
Yeah, unless they steal it and then it's a knick-knack.
Right, what's it going to be?
We'll say it's a lie.
You can say it's a lie. OK, Richard, Darth Vader through the bathroom window. Truth or lie?
It was, sorry, Pam, a lie.
It's a lie. Richard didn't break into his house while dressed as Darth Vader.